And hey, everybody, welcome to Squatch Talk. I'm Pat. How's everybody doing today or tonight, wherever you are on the timeline of reality? Thanks for being here. We have another reaction video, and this one's kind of interesting. We'll get right into it here, but it is from the Bigfoot Wildman and Booger podcast, episode 1. So, a brand new podcast. Brand new Bigfoot podcast. I couldn't resist. And it features what I think is a host and or co-hosts, host, co-host, um, which is Mary Ann Zeibel and Jennifer Stewart. So I don't know if Jennifer's a guest or a co-host. I think co-host again. As always, I haven't watched any of the video. I've just got it queued up here at the very beginning. And so we're going to get an honest reaction. But if it's who I think, this Marianne Zeibel chick, woman, lady, I think I've seen her on other shows and like in a panel situation. And I was, if it's the same person I'm thinking of, I'm not sure. We'll find out here in a minute together. But I was like, wow, she's the most sane person on the panel. Like she really kind of captured me as a like very reasonable, down to earth person talking about Bigfoot, and I sensed some true skepticism in her. That was not meted and greeted with vitriol. She seemed to be very respected. So I'm very interested if it's the same person I'm thinking about, like how this will go down. Again, I haven't watched any of it, but let's just jump right in. All right, I think it's a short intro here. Sorta. Uh-oh. Whatever. Just let it roll, I guess. I think that is her. Marianne. Wow, this is really loud. My end. Yep. Okay. There we go. Like that music's really loud for me. I don't know. There we go. All right.
Welcome. Tonight is the first episode of Bigfoot Wildman and Booger show. I'm Marianne, and this is Jen, my co-host. And
Hello.
We're here to take you all on a journey about the Missouri Bigfoot. This show is predominantly going to be about Missouri happenings, sightings,
Missouri.
expeditions. We know at some point we'll have to venture on out into somewhere else because we will have covered everything at that point. But for right now, we're going to start
know a lot
in Missouri. And
Missouri.
Jennifer will be doing every so often just weird things from Missouri. Because guess what? We're both Missouri girls. She's currently
Missouri's weird.
Right?
I'm currently in Minnesota.
Whoa, hey.
Well, you know.
Whoa, I thought something else was
weird
about
in Minnesota.
We
have Bigfoot in Minnesota.
Calm down there.
We have hairy northern woods.
Yes, you do. So
I don't know much about the geography.
So that's what we're doing. We're going to be talking about the things that go on here in Missouri. Because Missouri is, and I actually looked this up today, we are number 9 in Bigfoot sightings. And I think partly that is
Yeah, but what's that
Just
worth?
because we don't have that many people out there investigating it and reporting it. I'm sure if we had all the reports listed, we would be a whole lot higher than number 9.
Well,
It's not a
and there's still a lot
competition.
of thick woods in Missouri that, like thick woods.
Well, when you have
You need more
counties that
than
are
that.
nicknamed Booger County,
You need
Well,
hundreds and
that's tell you, right?
hundreds or
Booger
thousands of
dogs.
square
Booger
miles
dogs.
for a Bigfoot to be in.
Well, and what is
Woods
that?
are, I mean, I got
The
a lot of
Ozark
thick
Howlers.
woods
We can
right
talk
behind
about
me.
that too,
There ain't no Bigfoot there.
Yeah.
even though that's not
Sorry.
Bigfoot. But
It's not.
we got all kinds of things we can talk about. So
All of the things.
all of the
So,
things.
well, tell
Yeah,
us,
it's all
tell
good.
the people what drew you to Bigfoot. What was your first thing that said, man, this is my jam. I want to go look for this dude. I want to see what's going
I'm
on.
going to allow this.
I want to see if the
It's their
stories are
first
true.
episode, so
It started when I was a little kid.
It should be expected
when
in
the
a
summers
first
are really
episode.
hot and it's too hot to be outside. Go to the library and lay on the marble floors of the old library building and read, look at the Bigfoot books or the Loch Ness or anything like that.
Right.
I was doing that as a little kid, and I always have had a curiosity, but life happens and we get married, have kids, do whatever.
Nope.
And
you just lost your sound. Oh, there you are.
I always watched everything that came on TV, but back in 2019, one of the girls that I worked with was telling me that there had been a Bigfoot report to the local police in the area where we worked. And I said, how do you know that? Well, her husband listened to the scanner. And yeah. And so there was a report, right? So that prompted me to get on the BFRO and start to dig around and found out that there are expeditions in the state of Missouri, which I was completely and totally oblivious to. Thought they were only on, the West Coast, that type of thing. So
oh boy.
I said about setting, getting signed up for it.
I don't like where this
announcing
is
to
going.
Robert, guess what? We're going Bigfoot hunting.
He said, okay.
Cool. Signing up for a Bigfoot expedition is
then what?
the last thing you should do if you want to go looking for Bigfoot.
Yeah. He's like, I'm camping. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm camping. So 2019 was our first expedition. And it was funny when we pulled up, I looked at him, I said, this.
Because I'll just say this about paid expeditions, which I'm sure this is a paid expedition. Like, the thing about that is there's only incentive to create a Bigfoot funhouse for those who attend. Is nothing but an incentive. And given the reality that your odds of putting together a Bigfoot camp out and Bigfoot actually shows up are virtual zero, then your business will never take off unless people report whoops and knocks and, Bigfooty stuff. So just, that's why I say it's the worst idea. You're better off just going off to a remote campsite by yourself and, hope that Bigfoot shows up.
It's either going to be the greatest thing we've ever done or it's the craziest thing. And we're going to know in about 5 minutes.
Right.
And turned out it was the best thing we've ever done. I mean, we've got friends that we made that first expedition that have
camaraderie,
become very,
of course,
very good friends. They're
undeniable
go-tos. We've been to multiple states with them and done all kinds of things. But so we went on this expedition. We had no idea. I mean, I read everything that they gave us, but still it doesn't prepare you for anything, And
Sure.
What do you mean?
After dinner, we sat around, chit-chat a little bit, and, come 9 o'clock, they're like, camping. Come on, gear up, let's go, and I'm thinking, we've not even been out and looked around and in the daylight. How do we know where we're going? I mean, all these kind of things run through your head of, oh, holy crap, we're headed to the woods.
We're going to go on a 200-yard hike.
And we went, 3 or 4 different locations. And the gentleman that was leading it, he would take all like the newbies, as they call them, first timers, and they kind of went with him. And we had been to about 3 different places. And finally it's about midnight and we meet back up with the other 2 groups in an area. Now we're all there, but we all go different directions. And so our group takes off down this road.
Okay, so just gonna say, like, the whole, hey, we're going on a night hike, and yeah, we're gonna take you guys on a night hike. It's very couple of different things. Like that's a very like fun house sort of thing to go do. It it kind of reminds me of like kids camp, being at camp as a kid. We go on little night hikes, you know, sometimes do things at night sometimes. So like you're not going to go on some 10-mile hike in the middle of the night. Very few even expertise people. You don't see people hiking on the AT, like on a through hike. You don't They don't ever hike at night. And there's a reason. It's because you ain't going far very quick, even if your life depended on it. So like this just sounds like activity, you know, a fun activity to be in your swirling around in your head that Bigfoot might be around the corner. I don't know. It's
We
just
get down
something
the
I
road and we
disagree
step off
with.
into the woods. And basically, he's like, let's just sit down and listen, right?
Oh boy.
Okay. So we're all sitting in a circle, except for Robert. He was like, I'm not sitting down because if I sit down, I won't get up. So all of us
Understandable.
are sitting
I
there,
feel like
and
that sometimes.
I'm watching the girl next to me because she's completely camoed out, camo pants, camo hoodie, the whole 9 yards. And I'm kind of snickering to myself, going, okay, what are you doing?
Right. What are you looking
And
for?
she,
What are you hiding from?
right? Well, she decides she's going to take a nap. So she pulls the hoodie over her head, right?
That's weird.
And kind of just balls up. And at that point, I'm looking around, taking stock of what's going on. And when I look back at her,
Sounds
it's
boring.
like all of a sudden she's not there because she blends in so well. So then I'm like, okay, the camo works. Okay, quit being snarky. Camo
Quit being
works,
so judgy.
right? Don't be judgy. And so I'm just, and there's a conversation going on the whole time. The guys in the group are talking, but
Well,
I'm
you should have
focused on
noticed
her.
that
And I
anyway.
hear them, they're talking about
Should have
how
noticed
many
that
are there
anyway.
of us, who's sitting where, this type of stuff, right? And come to find out, so when they decide that there's an extra person with us, so to speak, they stand up, move toward it. Well, it jumps up, rolls over this small berm, and runs away. Well, at that point, everybody is now standing up facing that because of the commotion. And they're all talking about it. Everybody that's in the group still here. So, whatever was with us is now gone.
It's now gone. But what was with
Yeah.
us?
Exactly. They're like, what did you see? What did you see? Well, they're discussing all this. And so Robert and I are standing, we're the farthest ones back. We have not moved up. And there's she might have been 14-year-old girl stand there with us. And we start to hear this loud slapping noise behind us. And she looks at me and Robert looks at me, and I'm like looking at him going, yeah, I hear this too. I hear this too. So at that point, I turn around and I took a couple of steps toward the noise. And at that point, this large, upright, hairy, whatever, bipedal steps out from behind the tree. And it's, I don't know, 25 yards. And I mean, you can see it. You can't see the features on its face because it was a full moon. So it was all shadowed.
So
But
20
here this thing stood and it's standing right out there. It
25 yards.
takes another step and goes back behind the
25 yards, that's 75 feet. Okay. It's not super close, it's not far. But it's nighttime. And like how do you know what you're looking at? And one thing I'm like already super sus about, and have you I would say to Mary, like, have you thought of like, well, this guy told us to stop here. Somebody else guided you told you to stop here. Something happened, and now you are seeing something, or you don't know what you're looking at. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is highly sus because, again, the odds that this guy just guided you to a Bigfoot are zero. Like, unless they're magical beings again. Like, and then they're being conjured up. Okay, that whole thing. But like, all of this sounds real sus. Like, I think you should be way more skeptical of your own encounter. Let's see where it goes.
Tree, but steps out on the other side. It was like it wanted to be seen. It wanted everybody to pay attention to it and not what was running away.
Hmm.
At that point, Robert goes to get the guy that's leading the expedition, and we're trying to show him, and he's so
So
excited
that's
about what's
Bigfoot
happened
mind
that he
reading.
never can focus on what's right out there in front of us. And he's dancing around. He's all excited. And then we start to get movement off to the side.
Like, don't you guys have like lights? And like, so there's a bunch of people. Like, don't you guys have lights? Shouldn't everybody be getting excited and sort of like on guard and flicking up the lights? Is just that's what I would imagine happening. If Bigfoot was actually sort of doing stuff within 75 feet of me and like a bunch of people. I'm thinking like I'm like, hey guys, over here. I don't know.
Side of what's in front of us, it's off to our kind of left hand side. There's movement. Well, at this point, he decides we're being surrounded and we need to get out of there.
Whoa.
And it was like,
red flag.
wait a minute, this is what we came out here for, right?
Exactly.
And I'm like, no, I'm not going anywhere. This is what we came out here for. This is
what
we're supposed to be out here for, right?
Yes, I agree.
And basically, I was told
yes.
if I didn't leave willingly, I was going to be picked up and carried out of the woods.
And
what?
By who? It better be Robert
right?
who said that.
Who's going to be picking you up and carrying you out of the woods except maybe Robert? And even then, he takes his life in his hands. Come on.
So
sorry. I just.
Yeah, I don't think it was Robert that said that.
Told you to move. That's funny.
I'd be beating somebody over the head with a stick, man.
Yeah.
Like, shut up.
So I'm trying not to make a scene. It's my first time, right?
Playing it cool. Just playing it cool.
Ah, man.
Playing it cool. So, yeah. So we, begrudgingly leave the woods. We go out, and as we're walking out, you can hear there is something following us out. It's walking out with us.
Yeah, a person.
And so we get back out onto the asphalt.
The funhouse actor.
There's a slight grade we have to go up. Mm-hmm. And one of the other groups was standing at the hill, and there was a person who was therming us as we came out of the woods, right? And as we're walking up the road, that person says, hey, you left somebody standing down there. And we're all like, we're laughing, kind of snickering, going, we've had this conversation. We didn't leave anybody, no. And so they were able to therm it, and we were able to go back later and determine there was one of the guys with us. I think he was like 6'5". This thing was about a foot taller than him. So it was about 7.5 feet tall.
Zero way to determine that. I'm sorry.
Just watching us walk back.
It wasn't Bigfoot. I'm sorry.
The next day,
I know you wanted
everybody
to
was coming up and talking to us about it, and they're like, you don't understand. It's like the trifecta. Your first night out, you have a Class A sighting, your first time, and it was a full moon. You've had all the things that, are unheard of, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay. Because I'm thinking, well, isn't this what we paid for? I mean,
exactly.
I didn't know any different. I was naive about these things.
Like, bing, bing, bing. You just answered your own question. You paid for the Bigfoot Funhouse and you got it. I mean, that's what it is. Weigh it out. Like, is it people fucking with you, or is it actually Bigfoot? Weigh that out, and it will always come out people fucking with you because you paid. Because again, what did I say? Like, I already prefaced this. I said, ooh, red flag, right? Anytime that you sign up for something that you got to pay for, It's only in their best interest, the people who you pay money to, it's only in their best interest to make sure you are provided with what you signed up for. And are you telling me that they can create like Bigfoot on demand, like a legitimate Bigfoot, that they know exactly where Bigfoot is? And, somehow it's more important for them to, I don't know, make chump change off that by bringing you find people around a Bigfoot instead of discovering them. And again, the tens and hundreds of millions of dollars that would come with discovery. Nah, we'll take the chump change. Weigh that out. Is it Bigfoot or is it a human created funhouse? 100% human created funhouse.
Things. But so we went back to that area during the day, and Robert found in a mud hole a track. And now there was water in it, and we put the dollar bill down to it and took pictures of it. There was water in it. The other gentleman went back and he tried to cast it, and it really didn't turn out very well. But yeah, he found that one track that was coming out of the woods, not going into it. And we found the area where we sat down. And the odd thing about the area that we sat down in was it looked like a bedding area, but
I was gonna say, were you in the middle of their bedroom?
Yeah, we were.
Or where they
went
slept?
In their bedroom. Yeah, exactly. And so, because that whole area was
not
there were no saplings, there was nothing. It was completely flat. And if you stood on the little berm that was behind it and looked out into the rest of the forest, there's saplings everywhere. I mean, every 2 or 3 feet, there were saplings. So this area had nothing. So several large somethings had been sleeping in this area because it was ever bit of a good size, like bedroom, like a 10 by 10 or a 12 by 12, something like that.
Sure.
That was the size of it.
All right, so let's recap. So you pay for a Bigfoot outing. A guy guides you, somewhat unexpectedly. It almost sounded like that you weren't sure what was going to happen, and all of a sudden, oh, we're going out a night hike, and you get guided by a person to a specific location. Let's chill here and see what we hear. And all of this is coming out of that. So this guy just is coincidence that he just happened to plop you all down next to a Bigfoot bedding area where they're like, I don't know, chilling, sleeping, as the co-host says, Bigfoot's bedroom. That's what happened? Or did he know? Did he know that's where Bigfoot lives? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, this is off the charts unrealistic for a rare and elusive undiscovered primate. No way.
So,
how many do you think?
I don't know. At least 3, because there was the small one. There was, and I think it was Mama that stepped out from behind the tree.
I was going to ask, do you think it was Mama that was distracting?
All
maybe
imagination.
That's just my personal opinion. Don't have anything to go on as far as that. But I just felt like that was Mama trying to distract. Yeah, right.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
This is not real.
And then whatever, there was one more moving around out there.
She thinks it's
so.
Real.
There were 3 out there with us.
Like, she's not lying.
Themselves know.
She's clearly not like
small
lying.
family that lives out there. Don't know. But
she
that was my first experience, and at that point, I was hooked. I was going to do that regardless from now on.
Yeah, and now look at you. Now who's the director of the BFRO?
Well, I'm not the director. I lead the expeditions. I lead the expeditions in the state of Missouri, Oklahoma, and Arkansas.
And Arkansas. Is that all
That's all. That's all.
for now? For now.
For now, until I can figure
The
out
whole
something else.
Midwest.
Okay.
Marianne, Midwest BFRO. This is my area. You could. Literally.
You know,
Dakotas,
And
Minnesota,
there's, a lot of
Illinois, all the way
laughter.
down.
I
all the
mean,
way down.
see how
Well,
quickly
you
it
know,
like pivots.
well, and the thing about it is some states, there's just not a lot of
See how quickly it pivots from like seriousness, which wasn't really all that serious. It seemed like it should have been a little kind of more scary. Okay, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But like it just pivots right into laughter. That's a very common thing in the Bigfoot world. Is that like people will tell Bigfoot stories, and next thing you know, there's just all this laughter.
BFRO
Just
people, and
weird
some
to
of them
me.
just don't want to do it. You know, they don't want to lead expeditions. That's not their thing, and that's okay. You know, that's okay. I like leading the expeditions. It's fun. You know. So yeah, that was the first. That's what got us hooked. That's what got us started. We've been to some different states. We went to Kentucky, and was part of Charlie Raymond's expeditions down there. They were interesting. Had some stuff go on down there.
What
We've been to Oklahoma.
Bigfoot
Now
show
we
up? I
did
mean,
an expedition
what?
this
You know?
spring in Oklahoma. It's the first one's been held in Oklahoma in several years. And one of the gentlemen, he had a Class A sighting, which is a visual. And he had that during the day. So yeah, during the day.
So
it was really funny. We were out doing some scouting during the day, and Robert and I, another.
So again, like, wow, if you break all this down, even what she just said, we had a Bigfoot outing. He had a Class A daytime visual sighting, which whatever, who knows how far, or you know, it better have been 20 to 30 feet, but just break all that down. It's like, what is that? What is the narrative here? It's all about the narrative. And the narrative here is what's being said without actually saying it. Bigfoot is easy to find. All you have to do is go look with intention and you'll find them, which means that they would have to be extremely common and extremely engaging, like more so than a black bear. There's 800,000 black bear in North America. So do the math on that, And a black bear is most likely going to turn around and walk away from you. Most likely. Not always, but you see what I'm saying.
Gentlemen, and we look back and the guys in the vehicle behind us are gone. And I'm calling them and I'm like, where are you at? And they're like, we think we just saw and so I'm like, okay, stay put. We're on our way back. So we're flying back down the road. It's funny. We pull up on them. The SUV is sitting in the middle of the road and all 4 doors are open like it's been abandoned. I'm like, oh God. So one of the gentlemen, he's standing about 25 feet
again,
into the
it's
woods.
funny.
And I walk up to him. I said, okay, what's going on?
Bigfoot's scaring us.
And he said, and he's just as calm as he can be. He's like, yeah, I'm standing here. He said, we got out. We were looking because they thought they saw some tree structures, right? So that's what made him stop. That's what made him get out of the vehicle. So they're out looking at that. 2 gentlemen have taken down the game trail to look for other things. This gentleman stays put. And he has movement out of his right side. And he kind of looked and he said he thought that it was the landowner walking up on him. But he said, the guy is brown head to toe. And he said, my brain is saying that's not the landowner. But he said it was like nothing was working right. He knew that wasn't the landowner, but yet he thought it was the landowner. And it walks up toward him at an angle and then hits the trail and walks in front of him, and he said he can see it as it's coming out between the trees. He can see it, that it's, approximately 7 feet tall. It has reddish brown hair that is about 3 inches long. And he said it just walked down in front of him, never made a sound. And it's going down the trail that the two gentlemen were on, the game trail. And he said, yeah, 2 or 3 minutes, they emerge where he can see them. And he said, did you see it? Did you see it? And they're like, what?
See what?
They hadn't seen anything. So it had either stepped off and let them pass and they never saw it. Just wild stuff. We found what we thought maybe was a track or two there. But in that part of Oklahoma, they talk
have you
about
considered that
like
the guy
common
maybe isn't
knowledge.
telling the truth?
The locals down there know where
any
they're
consideration
at.
that the truth
they
is
won't
not being
go
addressed
because they're like, that's their part of the woods. They just, everybody you can stop anybody and talk to them. Even the park ranger down there where we stayed was willing to talk to us, and that's very unusual.
No, it's not. There's nothing unusual about park rangers talking to guests and people that are in national forests. There's nothing unusual about that. And even if you bring up Bigfoot, like, they'll still host you. Like, there's nothing unusual about that.
Okay.
Because normally you can't get them to admit to you that there's anything like that in the parks, or they just roll their eyes and go on type deal. They don't want anything to do with it. But down there, he had no problem telling us, oh yeah, they're here. They're here. He said he'd worked down there about 10 years and had about 15 reports in that 10 years of there on the lake where we stayed. Yeah. Yeah.
Perhaps he's just entertaining you. That does happen.
And then this spring, we did an expedition on the Niangua here in Missouri. And we had been last spring up there and had the self-illuminating eye shine. And I'd never had it before. And I kind of, was being judgy. And I did.
You
should be.
Me, right? Well, I mean, you hear people talk about all these things, and if you haven't experienced it, sometimes you're like, And so we were sitting there one night, this one gentleman and I were talking, and he's Thurman, and he starts to move around, and I asked him, I said, do we have visitors? And he said, yeah. And he has some of that native blood, so he knows. He has like sixth sense. He just knows when they're there, right? Mm-hmm. And he's watching a couple, and finally, there's just these, it looks like flashlights, but they're not like radiating light. They're just lit up. And it was a blue white, right? And I mean, it was way up off, too early for the lightning bugs, and they were just solid. They were
if
there.
You could see it, it's
moving.
illuminating light.
It was
light is hitting your eyeballs.
Really, really bizarre. But what was funny about that is we're watching him, and he says, oh my God, there's something walking over there. And he hands me, his FLIR. And yeah, here's this large upright figure walking. And I'm like losing my mind. And we're standing on like this little platform, right? And I'm like, I've threw his FLIR at him and jumped off this platform. And I'm running through the campground towards it. And I don't know, I get a little ways, and all of a sudden my brain kicks in and goes, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
You're running towards it. Right?
Yeah, towards the danger.
That's what people should do.
And at that point I stopped because it was going to be coming around the corner at any second if it stayed on the trajectory that it was taking.
Oh,
right?
That would be really close.
And so I just froze. I'm just standing there at that point because I'm like, well, I'm out here now. What the hell do I do now, right? And so I'm standing there and I'm waiting, and it comes around the corner, and I'm looking, going, wait a minute, that doesn't look quite right. And I realized at that point, it's one of the guys in the group. He'd gone off, hadn't
Aha!
told anybody, and was talking to his girlfriend on the phone, right? But what was funny was where he was sitting, these
There we
things
go.
weren't far from
Mystery
him that we
solved.
could see. And he didn't even
You have
know they
no
were
idea. Totally
No.
oblivious.
He was on the phone
Oh,
talking to
wait.
her, listening to music,
Oh,
and
but
those things
Bigfoot
were
was still there. Okay,
probably
gotcha.
15, 20 feet away from him.
Like, hey, what's he doing? What's going on over
Right?
there with that dude?
Ah.
Exactly. That's what they were doing. So that was a year ago.
That's
This
bad.
spring we went back. We couldn't camp in the same area
That's
because it
really
was flooded.
bad, actually.
So we had to
Sure.
camp up top. We couldn't be down by the river. We had to be up by the road. And we always get there a day early, get set up. Sometimes you got people that come in early, that type of thing. So
Well,
it's
yeah,
Wednesday
I wasn't
night. We've all gone to
expecting
bed
like
finally.
all
I
this
don't know, midnight,
kookiness.
1:00, something like that.
Um,
2:30 in the morning. There is something across the road screaming at the top of its lungs at us. Woke most of the camp up. And this one kid, he's a new kid, he basically had a tarp thrown over the back of his truck, right? I guess he came out of that like he was on fire when he heard that thing.
Because as we know, it's not a Black Panther that makes that noise, right?
No, they don't have the vocal capability to make that kind of scream, which he said too, once he got out, he could
how do
see
you know
something
that?
like
Like,
crouched up
nobody
the
really
road
knows
because there
what
was
they're
a
hearing in the
pole light
woods
a little further
sometimes.
up the road. He could see
Sure.
it. So
Um,
he said, I'm not sure, but I could tell, it was only on two legs,
mhm.
type of thing. That was his first experience like that. He was sold. He's been to everything since, but
Sold.
we had that going on.
Sold. Very key word there. He was sold on what he paid for. And I mean, that could just be his Bigfoot on the brain. Like, you don't have to do a Bigfoot funhouse, dude. You could just prime the living shit out of people and cut them loose on their own fucking minds. And they could like, ah, it was Bigfoot, you know. Um, I'm gonna skip ahead. So we've had multiple Bigfoot encounters, like in 25 minutes. And again, how is that possible? You know, like you're talking a situation where it's like, wow, these things are real common. Or there's some kind of special knowledge that only exists in the Bigfoot world. Um, and for some stupid reason, again, these people know exactly where Bigfoot is. They're always close by and they're guaranteed to show up, but yet we can't discover them and cash in on that. We want the chump change from the Bigfoot Funhouse experience. We don't want the fucking millions and millions of dollars that come with discovery. To know where Bigfoot is to discover them. That's the bottom line. That's reality. And this narrative that you are seeing on this video, unfortunately, contradicts reality. Huge contradiction. So I'm gonna just fast forward random to like minutes down the road here, see what they're saying, and I'm gonna kind of wrap it up. Uh-oh. Oh, gotta press play.
So there's a lot of activity out there. And it's really funny. That county in Missouri has the highest bear population, right?
Okay, so we're
This
talking
guy
about county in Missouri.
never has bear on his
A lot of Bigfoot activity out there. Let's see. Let's go back and see what she's saying.
head and shoulders. And, it was approximately 5 to 6 feet off the ground. And he kept catching it here and there. It was moving through the timber pretty quickly, but it wasn't making any sounds. So, I mean, we're not 100% sure. We don't know what that was, but, you know, it's awful odd, so there's a lot of activity out there. And it's really funny. That county in Missouri has the highest bear population, right?
Mm-hmm.
This guy never has bear on his property.
Gee, I wonder why.
Right? Right? Exactly. So
She's implying that black bear never go where Bigfoot does, yet there was just a correlation made about black bears and Bigfoot have this have the same habitat. Okay.
it's interesting. It's interesting because there's a lot of land. I mean, there's one gentleman down there that owns just a ridiculous amount of land,
How
and they
much?
bear hunt. But the gentleman, the property that we're on, he has never seen any bear. And he said, you used to be able to track them through the conservation. They had like a website. I don't think they're doing that anymore. But he said it was really weird. He said you could see how they avoided the bears, like either just barely went on the edge of his property or went all the way around it.
Okay. So the bear
You know.
knows that, we're just going to go around.
Yeah, the bear knows he's not
We
the
don't wanna
biggest
go-
in the woods.
Right. We ain't going through here. We're just peacing out.
We're just going to skirt this and mind our P's and Q's and go on down the road here. Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, is that
That
knowledge
county that
or
we're going to, the nickname for it is Booger County.
Booger
So,
County.
Booger County. Why would you nickname a county Booger County if it didn't have
I got
booger?
a book with the chapter on Booger County, all about Booger County.
so
Exactly.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of
Missouri has a population of about 1,000 black bears.
sightings that go on over there all the time. It's a very active area.
There's just a lot of
So-
sightings of more than Bigfoot in Booger County. There's just a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
shit going on in Booger County.
The gentleman was telling us, and I think it was back in the 20s or 30s, that there was a massive wolf killed over there. And it's actually in the newspaper.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, big wolf, something that should not
this
have been
again.
down here, right?
This again.
And they
the
documented
captive
it.
wolf. Yes.
There's some hunters that have told us that they've seen things that are way
Did that
too
happen
big
in Missouri?
to be because I think red wolves, we do have red wolves.
Right. Red wolves are different. If she's talking about a gray wolf, I want to recall there was one killed in Kentucky. I've never heard about one killed in Missouri. We'll see what she says.
But not a lot. What we have here mainly is we have coyotes, we have bears, and we have mountain lions.
Yeah.
We do have mountain lions. I mean, the mountain lions are far and few, but we have them. We have more little black bears than anything. And, these hunters are like, no, it is none of that. It is a large canine of some sort.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
So I don't know. The property that we go on, the gentleman has said at times he has heard what he likens to hyena howls.
Oh, okay.
And he found some kind of odd tracks back around the first of the year when we had a snow, and also heard those odd howls. And he said when those happen, his dogs shut up and run for cover.
Even the dog's not messing with it.
No, the dogs don't want any part of it. No, they're not doing it. Not having any part of it. So I don't know what that is. There's, some people would immediately go, "Oh, that's dog man. That's dog man." I don't know. It's just another strange, just another strange thing that happens when you're out in the woods looking. Be careful what you're looking for. You might just find it.
You might just find it. You'll stumble across it, or it will stumble across you.
That's it exactly. That's it exactly.
Stare at you for a while and go, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Yeah, it's like, "Hey, look at me, I'm right here." Yep, exactly. So Jennifer, do you want to tell us about some of the things you have lined up for our strange episodes?
Well, I'm still doing some research, but I'm trying to go along with the Bigfoot. I thought the first one we would do would be the Momo.
Yeah. the
So
Missouri Monster.
like other
That's
stuff.
kind of a thing.
Right.
I, I'm really drawn to just all of the just bizarre, Bigfoot's bizarre enough, but like the really, like Molly Crenshaw got a hold of me. Just a story about a supposed witch,
Right.
and she was killed by the town, and yeah, it's like, come on, I don't know.
Well, and you
I,
and I've talked about, I think I sent you the TikTok on the Potosi cannibals. And it
yes,
was funny because 3 or 4 people had sent that to me, and I'm sending
right,
it to you. And I'm laughing because what caught my eye is the map has a place called Monkey Mountain.
Monkey
I'm more
Mountain, and gee,
concerned
why is
about
it called
Monkey
that?
Mountain.
Hmm.
Right? Right? Exactly.
Exactly.
I'm not, cannibals? No, I want to go look at Monkey Mountain. Come on.
Well, and then to go along with the
Interesting.
dog theory, there's a story, and that we've talked about this. They're called booger dogs,
Oh boy.
Yes.
and I believe the story is that a witch puts a
Ah, stop. Don't want to hear about booger dogs. Petey, you want to kill a booger dog? He's gonna get him. He's gonna kill it. Uh, and witches. Like so now, like it's just off the rails. Like silliness. Sorry. So I did check on. This is really strange though. What's strange about this? The Missouri wolf killing incident sounds is almost identical to the Kentucky one, which I swear was Kentucky and not Missouri, but maybe I'm conflating the two. Uh, I don't know, but it was like almost certainly a captive, escaped captive wolf, and so again, wolves are um, we have wolves here in Georgia in captivity. There's all kinds of captive wolves all over the southeast, and occasionally they're going to escape, and they can survive, obviously, like until a human mistakes it for a yote, and bam, and that's exactly what happened with this wolf in Missouri. So, I mean, it wasn't natural. Anyway, yeah, I don't want to get into witches and uh, booger dogs. Petey, booger dogs, really, buddy? Well, he just will not show up for these recordings. Um, so I think I'll leave it at that, man. I'm gonna give it really more of a eh. Like, just again, like ladies, nice, glad you started a podcast. Good job. Like, good job carrying the water of the narrative. But the reason I do these video reactions is you know, to sort of call out what should be the obvious, but if you get too sucked into the storytelling part, you kind of miss the obvious reality of it. And again, we had like a dozen Bigfoot encounters happen just right here, you know, and it's probably more because I'm not even at the end. Um, so I'll go ahead and wrap this one up. Um, just mute it, let it kind of keep playing as I stop the recording. I probably shouldn't. Sorry, Jennifer, that I paused you there. Maybe um, not cool, but I get it. So I'll just go ahead and wrap it up and just kind of like say, hey, yet again, man, like narrative. Look at the holes. Look at the red flags. You know, what guy takes you right. Hey, let's stop here and sit down, see what happens, see what we hear, and then boom, an explosion of Bigfoot activity and bedding area. It's like, well, how did he know that? And if he did know that, why wouldn't he exploit that for something more than chump change? You know, I would. I'd exploit the living shit out of it. To millions and millions of dollars if I knew where Bigfoot was, but I don't, and neither do you or any of these people or any of these people who talk about the people that they were with. No one knows where Bigfoot is. Change my mind, and we can all become millionaires. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Check out the channel. Brand new channel, brand new podcast. Wish you all the best of luck, ladies. And I will see you guys next time.